So today I'm here with Joseph Vang, and what branch of the military did you serve in?
I served in the Marine Corps.
Okay, how many years?
I did about close to 9 years.
Man, in the Marine Corps, that's like 20. From what I understand, I mean, it's a tough branch of the military, man.
Yeah.
So why did you pick the Marines?
You know, to be honest, I wasn't sure what types of branches there were. I just knew that I had to get out off the streets because I'm from Sacramento, California.
Okay.
And my life was going down the wrong path. And one day I just saw the recruiting office. It was actually Navy's office first. And I went inside there, and the Marines, the Army, the Navy, the Coast Guard, they were all in there just talking. And the Marine guy just got my information first.
And
I really...
So it really just came down to whoever sold you, and it was the Marine guy.
Yeah.
Interesting. What did you do while you were in the Marines?
My first 4 years, I was an 0621 radio operator. And then I went to South Carolina, Parris Island, to become a PMI instructor, which I helped recruit some Marines that had to shoot weapons, M16, qualified, things like that.
Wow.
So it was pretty fun.
So how did you let's go back to radio operator. How did you get into that?
You know, I was always big in telecommunications. Before I went to the Marine Corps, I worked in like AT&T, Singular Wireless. Back
Oh,
in the
yeah,
days.
that's old school. Yeah.
And I was always intrigued with comm and communication. And the Marine recruiter, he sold me on, hey, you know, if you know about phones and radios, why don't you just merge right into radio operators? And even though they're completely different, I get what he was doing.
Yeah.
You know?
It makes you understand it, and you're like, okay, I could do that.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure when you're sitting in that office, you're like, well, what could I do? You know what I mean? And it's their job to say, well, you already have these skill sets, and this is where you can put you, which is really smart of them to do.
Yeah.
So you did that for 4 years. Did you go anywhere overseas?
Yeah, so my first 4 years as a radio operator, I went to Ramadi and Fallujah. So I did 2 deployments with the 2nd Anglo, which is in North Carolina. And right after that, I wanted to kind of just slow down my pace, and I went to South Carolina for the recruiting depot.
And then just did the instructing there for the rest of it. So how did you make the jump from radios to just straight up shooting guns?
Yeah, you know, it was a tough decision because they were saying, hey, you can go to a different battalion and keep doing radios, or you can kind of take a little break, you know, and help recruits and help Marines qualify for gun qual. And I wanted to take a break because after 2 deployments, it's man, you know, I want to see what else is out there. So it was a tough decision because I had to move away from my family too.
To do that?
So, but I figured it was good for me.
Yeah. And that's smart that you did it. Did you have to have, like, as far as being a marksman, like have, like, I mean, did you have to, like, okay, prove yourself, kid?
Yeah. It was funny because I've always been like the bottom of the barrel when it comes to pistol qual, rifle qual. And I realized that, you know, if I want to become an instructor, I gotta up my game. So I took some private lessons outside of the Marine Corps just to make sure that if I do qual and become an instructor, I know what I'm doing, you know. Because I didn't want to wear that pizza box and call it at the ball. I want to make sure I was an expert in both classes. So I needed to make sure I was on top of things.
That's cool that you took the time to do that outside and believed in it, that you wanted to take the time to do that. It's cool. So do you still go shoot?
I do. I do. I live in Nixa, so I go to the one in Ozark. Sound of Freedom. And good times.
Yeah. Well, Joseph, thank you so much for coming to lunch with me today, and thank you so much for your service. What is it that you do now that you're out of the Marines?
So right now I own my own web agency. I do website and search engine optimization. I just help people navigate through Google and get their business online. So been doing that for the past 6-7 years, and I love it.
Nice. You know, you can do it anywhere too.
I can do it from
Let me ask you this too before we go. How did you end up in this area?
So, crazy story. My mom and my dad moved out here because they were put on witness protection program. And I don't know if I could talk about that, right?
You can you? Is it still like an active thing?
No, it's not.
So it's all good now?
Yeah, it's all good now.
We don't have to name names.
Yeah.
And I don't have to, when this thing's over, listeners, just know that I'm going to get the full story.
So they got put on witness protection program.
That's wild. And they picked Springfield Mo.
They picked Mo Neck.
Mo Neck?
Yeah.
Oh my
Mo
God.
Neck, Missouri. Because it's out in the middle of nowhere, right?
There's got to be some old school Vegas gangsters in Mo Neck, man. If you see a big Italian guy in Southwest Missouri, chances car. He's running a family in Vegas in the 80s.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Anyway, so that's the connection, basically?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, life is wild.
It is.
Man, that's crazy. Well, again, Joseph, thank you again for coming, and thank you again for your service,
Yeah.
sir.
Thank you, man.